Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mariah and I'm really happy to have you here. Today we are going to do the BookTube Newbie Tag, which I found via Jessica from Breathe and Read. I thought this would be a really good opportunity for you guys to get to know me and for me to introduce myself to the BookTube community. So let's get started. Question number 1, why did you start this channel? To be honest, I've wanted to start a channel like this for a really long time, and I was watching Hannah from the Clockwork Readers reading vlog on Chain of Gold. I was connecting with her reactions because I have a lot of similar reactions. Normally my pets, Lilith and Harlow, or my boyfriend are the victims, participants in a one-sided conversation about how I'm feeling about that particular book. So, long story short, I wanted to be part of a community where I could share those reactions and spare my boyfriend all of the angry ramblings or emotional ramblings I get when I'm reading. The second question, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to BookTube? That's a very hard question for me. I have a lot of backlist titles on my TBR and on my shelves. I have a lot of different types of books. I read a lot of different types of books. And I think my friend Julia said it best when she said that I could be like the taste breakers on Spotify for books. And I'm also really snarky and I have a lot of opinions. So hopefully that'll be something new and unique for people to get to know. 3, what are you most excited about for this channel? I'm really excited to start interacting with the community and to share my opinions of books. Plus, my boyfriend won't have to suffer whatever's on my mind about a book, because he does. Question number 4, why do you love reading? I love reading for a lot of reasons. I love learning new things. Each of the worlds crafted are very unique. Even retellings give amazing looks at their characters and gives a much more rounded view of the world, and you can really learn a lot that you can apply to the world around us from reading a book. It's accessible to almost everyone, and it can really save and change lives. And there are quite a few books that I can say have changed my life or have made me change the way I look at things, for better or worse. 5, what book or series got you into reading? I read a lot of books growing up. I had 5 bookshelves in my bedroom. The first books I remember devouring, like many people from my generation, are the Harry Potter series. They started coming out in 1998. The first book came out, I was 6. My mom read it aloud to us every night, and I would try to con her into reading more and more chapters from it. And this was the first series that I remember reading, but I've been reading books forever, so I don't really have an answer to that question. What questions would you ask your favorite YouTubers? Honestly, if I met my favorite YouTubers, I would probably freak out. If I were cool, however, then these are the top 5 questions I would ask my favorite booktubers. Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, how do you choose books when you're anxious and don't know what to do? I really struggle with feeling guilty for abandoning books when I'm feeling anxious, or for not being able to read more when I'm feeling anxious. That's something I addressed in my quarantine vlog. If you guys want to check that out, I'll put it in the cards up here. For Lala from Books and Lala, how do you read so fast? I just really need to know. I thought I was a fast reader. I read 2 to 2.5 pages a minute, and she just blows through books like it's nothing. I just need to know how she does it. Maddie from the Book Pusher, if you had to choose one book from your favorites to recommend to someone who had never seen your channel, what would it be? If you all don't know Maddie from the Book Pusher, she has opinions, and that's something I really like. And she also reaches out to different types of books and different high fantasy books and sci-fi and contemporary. She's a very well-rounded reader. So Natasha from My Reading is Odd. If you had to recommend a horror book for people to start with, which one would it be? For Emily from Books with Emily, if you had to suggest one science fiction to get somebody into sci-fi, what would it be? So, those are the questions I would ask because I need to pick their brains, but I'm not cool. Number 7, what challenges do you think starting a BookTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Consistency and building systems to help my channel grow. I have a super stressful job and I'm always on call, so sometimes I just kind of tend to shut down on my weekends. I also need to not triple and quadruple check myself when I'm doing this, when I'm editing or anything like that. I tend to, especially if I'm feeling anxious that week, really double guess the way my makeup's done and the lighting, and it's sometimes I just have to sit down and press record. And that's really hard for me. Number 8, when did you start reading? I was 2.5 when I picked up my first book. The story that my mama tells is that I got tired of waiting for her to read to me while she was taking care of my younger sister, so I picked a book and taught myself to read. I was reading at 2.5. I was reading encyclopedias at 4. So, I've always been reading, which says a lot about my priorities in life, I guess. Question 9, where do you read? Everywhere, at work, on the plane, on long car drives. I listen to books when I'm driving. I listen to books while I'm cleaning. I read in pillow forts and on the bed and on couches and in my desk chair and in my boyfriend's desk chair and on the floor. I literally read everywhere, or I try to. Question 10. What kind of books do you like to read? My preferences are fantasy, YA, self-help, and history books. I also read a little bit of mystery. Tucked in there are some cozy mysteries. Specifically like Agatha Christie. Some thrillers, and I'm getting into horror. I prefer paranormal thrillers, or I like urban fantasy. I really like just the world building for fantasy and YA worlds. I think YA is a very undervalued genre. And self-help books is because I have a diagnosed anxiety disorder with a adjustment disorder, which means I do not cope very well, and I push things into boxes in my brain and hope that the elder gods that I've locked in them never come out to wreak havoc. So there's that. And history books is because I think that history is fascinating. So there's that. That's the end of this tag. I've left the booktubers that I've mentioned and their channels down below. Please check them out. They're all fantastic. They're all way better at this than I could ever be. And they just, each of them has their own very unique brand, and that's what I really love about them. So please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this and want to see more videos like this. I'll be wrapping up the Magical Readathon next week, so please stay tuned for that. Leave some recommendations of books I should try or any tags you would like to see down below. And please let me know if there are any other videos that you would like to see. All the best books, coffee, and wine to you and yours. And stay safe out there. The world is kind of crazy.